So this is 500 rounds, well, 490 rounds of 9mm loaded into Glock mags. And this is about 450 rounds of more 9mm, which is why I brought a couple extra boxes so it'd get me to 1,000 rounds. Let's get into it. Hey guys, Joey here from Booney's Garage. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we're at the shooting range and we're going to put 1,000 rounds through the new Ruger RXM. Now, before I get into it, I want to just kind of talk to y'all about some of the things that interest me about this gun. I really love Glocks. I don't love them because I think they're cool guns. I don't love them because I think they look good. I don't think they are the most ergonomic. I don't think they have the best trigger. The reason I love Glocks is because, you may not know this, but I'm in law enforcement, and Glock is the only gun that I've ever run that goes bang every time. Just, you pull the trigger and it works. That's not to say I haven't had malfunctions with Glocks, but I've never had a malfunction with a Glock that I haven't induced myself. Glock is the only gun off the shelf that I'm comfortable pulling out of a brand new box, putting it in a duty holster, and trusting my life to. So given that, I've always been pretty fascinated with the Glock platform. Whenever I first got into law enforcement back in 2000, I think it was 11, it's been a long time, 2011, 2013, somewhere around there, I was given a Glock and I was a revolver guy, Smith & Wesson revolver guy. I still love Smith & Wesson revolvers, Smith & Wesson. But they said, you know, our department, we carry Glocks, here's your Glock. They issued me a Glock 19. And never held the gun before, never shot it before, never messed with a Glock before that. I picked up the gun. I shot a 98% on the qual. And I love shooting, but I'm no, Wild Bill Hickok or Wyatt Earp. I am probably an above average shot, but not a phenomenal shot. And I was very impressed with what the Glock represented. It's a really cost-effective, really reliable tool that can be taught to be used well by anyone. And so I've always kind of respected Glock because of that. And over the years, I've shot them so much that they're one of the few guns that I will immediately trust my life to without putting rounds through it first. That said, Ruger just came out with their Ruger RXM. It's a collaboration between Ruger and Magpul. And the patent ran out on the Glock Gen 3 firearm a couple of years back. And so a lot of companies have taken off and kind of jumped off that platform. Probably the biggest ones you've heard of are like Shadow Systems makes a Glock clone, but they're kind of a boutique company, really high end. And then another company, Palmetto State Armory, they're kind of a value budget company, and they make a PSA dagger, which is basically a Glock 19 clone. But the thing is like one of them's boutique and one of them's a super value. The thing that fascinates me about the Ruger RXM is that it's a Glock clone made by Ruger and Magpul, which are, one's a major American firearms manufacturing company that is well respected, and one of them is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, manufacturers of firearms accessories. And so I was really fascinated by this collaboration. The other thing I was fascinated with about the situation is we're basically seeing in real time, in our lifetime, we're seeing what happened with the 1911. When the 1911 was originally produced, it was produced by Colt around the year 1911. And the platform became so popular and got modded out so much by gunsmiths, and then companies started producing their versions of it, that when you say 1911 now, it doesn't refer to a Colt, it refers to a platform. And at some point, I really believe we're going to hear the Glock 19 or the G19 is not going to be referring to a Glock anymore. It's going to be referring to a platform. And I just find that fascinating. I bought this thing on a lark. The cool thing about this is, so I bought this gun. The gun was $415 out the door. And then I bought this Holosun. It's a 407 GR, so it's a green dot. That was think about 260 out the door. So what you're seeing, and not including the light, I put the TLR1 on just so I could run it in one of my range holsters here. But the gun actually does fit just fine in a standard Glock 19 holster. It's just my range holster has provision for a light, so I put the light on it so it fits the holster. But the optic in the gun cost me $675 out the door, like total price. And that's a hell of a price point for a gun with an optic that's ready to go for concealed carry. I believe it is. I've seen a bunch of the reviews online saying it is. And while it is a Glock 19, it's not a Glock. So before I trust this gun to save my life or the lives of others, I want to put, I don't know, like 1,000 rounds through it. That's why I brought all this ammo to the range. So today, I'm just going to burn through ammo, and we'll see if this thing is actually as reliable as a Glock. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So before I get too carried away on just dumping rounds through this gun, the first thing I'm going to do is take it up there. I haven't shot a shot through this before. I bought this gun. I mounted my red dot on it, or green dot, I guess. And that's all I've done to it. So, and then I lubed the slide rails. So lube the slide rails, mount a green dot. So now I'm going to go up there, and the first like 2 mags I'm going to put through it, I'm just going to be 0 in the green dot and seeing how that goes. So, yeah, stand by, let me get that zeroed, and then we'll start really putting some rounds through this in earnest. All right, so I put 3 magazines through it, and what I've done is I've got 2 targets set up. I've just been kind of going back and forth, picking different spots. So this is 15 yards, and then dial it in. And then this is 15 yards as well, just trying to dial it in. I was aiming for this little target. Once I finally got it dialed in, this right here is a 5-shot group at 15 yards. So 1, that one I know, I pulled, I felt it. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's an acceptable grouping to me. So, like, obviously that's my fault. I know that. So yeah, I'm going to run with that. That's where we're going to shoot our gun at now. We're going to leave the sight there. And then this right here, this is a 3-shot, 10-yard group. So, and I was just aiming inside the square. So, all right, time to burn some rounds. All right, guys, so we are at 10 mags right now, ballpark 150, well, closer to 170 rounds. 2 of them were 15 round mags, the rest of them were 17 rounders. So far, gun's working great. I've put all of those rounds through in about 15 minutes. And most of them, or the past 5 magazines, were all in 2 minutes. Well, 4 minutes, I guess. And the gun is noticeably hot. The metal parts are getting hot to the touch. This is all shot from 15 yards. Obviously, I've been kind of running it, and you can see I'm dropping some low, but I would say that's pretty good so far. All right, that's what the 5 mags at 10 yards looks like. Obviously, I was running out a little bit. And if you're watching the video, you can see that there's a couple times I'm stopping and readjusting my grip and everything. Honestly, the grip angle, here, just a second. Here we go. Honestly, the grip angle on this gun is a little different than Glock, and I'm still kind of figuring out how my hands fit on that gun. Glock 19s I like, but they've always been a little short for me. I really got to choke up on them. And I've noticed I've never had a problem with slide bite on a Glock before, but this one, the way the edge of the slide hangs down, it's a little different. And I'm having to watch my grip to make sure I don't get too high on it. Yeah, so little things I'm learning. But I mean, I've put 15 mags through it so far, and it's running like a top, so pretty happy with it. All right, guys, we're 29 magazines in. Here. This thing is ridiculously hot to the touch. If you look, the takedown pin here, that is hot as all get out, and I'm left-handed, so my support hand is my right hand, and it's making my thumb pretty red from touching it. That thing's really hot. But that's all we've shot so far. That's 505 rounds total. And basically, because I'm just doing a torture test on the gun, you know, I'm just kind of shooting these big goofy strings, trying to get some bullets through it, kind of in a fast pace. And all of these were shot from either 10 or 15 yards, but so far so good, man. I'm pretty impressed. 505 rounds through it so far, not a single malfunction, and I'm shooting just crap ammo, Winchester white box, and some spear range ammo. I think I got some PMC, just a bunch of random stuff. So I'm gonna reload these mags and get back at it. It's actually kind of good, give the gun a chance to cool down. So it's got the snowing out here, pretty chilly, so I'm just trying to get through this as quick as I can because I'm cold, man. So yeah, I've got another, I don't know, about 10 or 12 magazines down here. Let me, whatever that is. I got 14 more magazines to go. So I'm gonna run through those real quick, and then we'll give you a debrief when it's all done. So, all those mags shot through twice. All those boxes of ammo. I don't know if you can see it yet, but all the brass at the 10-yard line here. That second round of magazines, I just was trying to get through it as quick as possible. The temperatures really dropped, and it started flurrying out here, so kind of want to get back home before it starts snowing too bad. This target has about 250 rounds on it. You can see I was shooting for groups a couple of times, but mostly just, you know, big dumb mag dumps trying to get through. This one was my last target. I shot about 250 rounds on this one too. You can start telling I'm getting fatigued. My groups are opening up a little bit when I'm shooting for groups and scattering rounds a lot more. And that's fine. I'm not that worried about it. Really, this is a test of the gun, not a test of my marksmanship ability. But anyway, guys, there you have it. I just got through 1,000 rounds with the new Ruger RXM, and zero malfunctions. When I say no, I mean absolutely zero. So anyway, you can see this, the dirtiness of the ammo I was shooting has blackened my light. It's pretty filthy on the end of the slide, but still relatively smooth to run. It's freaking hot. It kind of hurts to rack it. In fact, I racked it at one point and burned my hand. The last 2 times I reloaded it, I was actually using the sleeve of my hoodie pulled down over my hand so I wouldn't burn myself. I'll follow this up whenever I get back home. I'll break it apart and show you what the inside looks like, but I think this gun's ready. It's ready. I wouldn't hesitate to grab one of these and start carrying it, man. That's a good gun. I bought it directly off the shelf. Ruger's not a sponsor unless they want to be. Yeah, spent my own money on it, and it's a solid gun, man. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll give you my breakdown once I get back home and have my time to gather my thoughts of pros and cons, what I think are positives and negatives about it, but overall, really good gun. All right, guys, you'll have to excuse me. I'm just working on my coffee table here in the living room, but I just wanted to show you this. I've just field stripped this gun so far and just taking it apart. I got that on my hands. If you look, the lighting in here isn't the best, but I was definitely shooting some dirty ammo, right? Yeah, there's definitely dirt and debris and crud all throughout this gun. But with it being, you know, a good glorp of lube on the slider, this thing ran great, especially considering, you know, how dirty we got it. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this down, and once I get that done, I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like stripped down and what needs cleaned. Alright, so now that I've got this disassembled into its basic parts, basically you have a pin in the frame here that you drive through from right to left because it's bigger on the left hand side, and then there's a pin here. You take those, pin here. You take those 2 pins out, and then you depress, just like on a Glock, the Gen 3 Glock, you depress the slide lock lever spring here, and the slide lock lever drops out. So here you can see the larger pin, the secondary pin, and the slide lock lever. And then you get your housing here, and that's, you know, that's the whole gun right there. That's kind of neat. As you can see, it's pretty cruddy from all the shooting we did. But now that it's disassembled, man, there's not much to it. It's going to be pretty easy to clean, so I'll get this cleaned up. And then we'll look in here. I'll get this cleaned up good. Whenever I reassemble it, I'm not going to lube it near as much as I did the first time, because you can see how much just oil and cack is in there. So really, I just wanted to oil it really, really well because I knew I was going to be shooting so much through it while it was without being cleaned. So next time I don't have to put quite as much oil in it. I'll clean up my light. Again, you can see how dirty that light is. And then clean up my slide real good. I'll probably go ahead and do a full strip on the slide just to make sure, see what it looks like on the inside. But I think that the slide's probably going to be mostly okay on the inside, but we'll check. We can just do this. I don't know if you can hear that, but the firing pin is moving freely, so that's nice. So I guess that basically covers the Ruger RXM and my thoughts on it. Just to kind of give you a final rundown of what I think about it. I'm really impressed with this gun, man. I know it's essentially a Gen 3 Glock, but I wanted to see if it was as well made as a Gen 3 Glock. And it appears to be. It's a very sturdy gun. I put 1,000 rounds through it today, 1,010 actually. It was getting it hot enough that it was burning my hands, and you know, I ran all that ammo through it, 1,000 plus rounds in about a 3-hour period, a little less. And honestly, what took me the longest was reloading all the mags, because I only had enough mags to hold about 500 rounds. You know, I guess I'll go ahead and just do some brief points on this gun. A lot of people that I've been watching reviews on really like that they built in these like gas pedal kind of thumb rests on the side of it. They're nice if that's how you shoot a gun. I don't tend to use a thumbs forward grip. I tend to use a high thumb grip when I'm gripping a gun. So they don't really help me or hurt me. I don't have a problem with them, but they don't add anything for me. The grip module itself is extremely comfortable. I think the grip module itself, in its stock form, is more comfortable than a stock Glock grip. I seem to have an issue with shooting low, a little bit low and a little bit right whenever I was really gassing on it. And that's honestly probably largely trigger control, combined with the fact that this grip angle is a little bit different, and I'm not used to. It's also a little bit thinner than how I run my gun, because I run a back strap on mine. Makes it a little more beefy to get around. I have pretty big hands and pretty big fingers, so I like that extra meat. That said, I think if I didn't have the experience with the Glock platform that I have, this would be a fantastic gun. And if I had as much experience shooting this as I do the Glock itself, you know, the Glock brand Glocks, I wouldn't be surprised if I would have liked this more. This is a very, very well designed grip module. The components they're strong, they're well made. You know, they run without a hiccup. After putting this gun through what I did, I'm probably going to carry it for the next 6 months or so, when I'm off, when you know, just concealed carry. And I like it. I like it a lot. If you're in the market for a defensive pistol, especially, you know, if you're looking kind of heavy at the Glock platform, I'd consider this. This would be a strong contender. I would probably be just as happy grabbing one of these as a Glock 19. It's a good gun. It's a good gun. I'm really impressed with it. Anyway, like I said, I know this video is pretty different than the normal what we do here on Booney's Garage. But, you know, it's something that I mess around with, so figured I'd give you all a heads up on my thoughts on this new Ruger offering. Anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.